Welcome to another episode of Inspired Voices. I'm Oliver Riera, and this is Lou Torres.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Why don't you tell everyone what you do?
Okay, my name is Lou Torres. I'm the owner of CocoCrissi Tropical Icees. CocoCrissi Tropical Icees is a New York-style Italian ice pushcart vending business.
That's awesome, man. I actually never knew that there was different types of Icees as far as, you know, from different sections of the U.S.
There is. Ironically, I didn't know, too, until I got into the business. But New York has their own type of Italian ice. Mm-hmm. You have the Italian version of the Italian ice. Yeah. But then you have the Latino version of the Italian ice, which is coquito, which is a coconut base. Yeah, coco is the.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, man. In any corner of New York City. Yeah, the little Spanish guy pushing the carts, coco, cherry, mango, rainbow. Philly, you have water ice. New Orleans, you have the snowballs, which is similar to what they have here in Pelicans. Yeah. And Hawaii, they have Hawaiian shaved ice. So yeah, there's different types of frozen treat.
I thought it all just came from the same place,
but there's only one CocoCrissi Tropical Icees.
That's right. That's right.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, you are from the Bronx.
From the Boogie Down, yes. From the Boogie Down, yes, sir.
How was it growing up in the Bronx?
Man, it was. I wouldn't trade it for the world, man. Yeah. I mean, I grew up off of Story Avenue on a block called Evergreen, 950 Evergreen, 14D to be exact. Single parent household.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
How many kids?
So I was at the time I was the oldest of three.
Okay.
So me, my brother, my sister. My brother and I are 10 months apart. My sister is about 3 years younger than I. Yeah. And 2-bedroom apartment. My mom at the time, you know, she was single before she married my stepfather. That's the politically correct way, stepfather. Yeah, that's my dad. He raised me since the 2nd grade. But the Bronx is all I knew at the time.
Right.
And living in the same bedroom with my brother and sister was everyday norm for me. Yeah. I didn't know about living in the suburbs or in a home, whatever. But growing up in the Bronx, you know, I rode my bike every day. I played almost every sport every single day: baseball, basketball, football. Nice. And
how was life for mom? Was like, because she's a single mom, right?
So yeah.
She had a lot of jobs, maybe.
Well, yeah. I mean, I remember quite a few. She had temp jobs, but we never felt like we didn't have anything.
Gotcha.
You know, Christmas rolls around and the house was always full of love. Yeah. You know, I wish I can go back in the apartment so I can see how big it really is. Mm-hmm. Because when I was a kid, I mean, it just seemed like
it's like a huge place, right?
Huge place, and it was always warm. There was always food. Like, she always made a way when there was no way. Cool. So I never knew what it felt like to be poor. Whereas probably, you know, according to the standards we were, but mom never made us feel like that. So
that's cool.
Yeah. So it was pretty cool. But mom eventually went to Drake Business School, which I don't even think they're still around, but someone like a trade school.
Oh, okay. And, I thought it was like Drake the rapper.
No, not Drake the rapper. But she actually graduated valedictorian.
That's cool.
And immediately right after, she had a job in the personnel department at the Sheraton Hotel as an admin assistant for a top executive. But what I do remember is, you know, we grew up on social services. Right. But I don't know, don't quote me, Mom, but I think like the week after she graduated, she wrote a letter to social services thanking them for their support, but we no longer need it. And she had a job in
she was
Manhattan,
all set.
And she was set, man. And then my stepdad.
I bet that was a great feeling, man.
Oh, dude, yeah. Like, I remember that like it was yesterday, you know. Yeah. So my mom is my hero, right? You know, because she came from very, very tough beginnings. You would think I had tough beginnings, but no, she came from Puerto Rico. Both my parents are from Puerto Rico. But she pretty much bounced around from house to house. She was homeless for a while and had 3 kids at a very young age. I think before 21, she had 3 kids.
Oh, wow.
And learned how to speak English, and she put herself through school.
Damn.
And
that's an American dream right there,
like,
man.
I can really look back and look at mom like, wow, you're the real MVP. Yeah. You know, like Kevin Durant.
Is that what? Is that what you thought like growing up as well? Like, you always looked up to her?
As I got older, you know, I can look back and reflect on situations and.
Gotcha.
And
was she always tough on you, like with school and stuff? Like you had a good
yeah,
grades
no,
and all
no.
that
My
stuff?
mom's my biggest cheerleader.
Oh yeah.
She's been my biggest cheerleader.
So she gave you a lot of praise then.
A lot of praise.
That's
so
awesome.
that's my love language. Words of affirmation.
Yeah.
I didn't learn that until after I read Gary Chapman's 5 Love Language book.
Oh,
I was
that's
like,
yeah.
oh, that makes sense.
That's a
Mom.
popular book.
Exactly, man. Changed my life.
Yeah?
After my divorce. After my divorce, changed my life. But I was
funny,
like, I'm
man.
reading the book, like, man, this is awesome. Why didn't anybody tell me about this
Yeah,
before?
yeah. It should have been like one of the main rules in relationships.
Definitely,
or something.
man. That every high school kid should read that, man.
Nice.
And learn your love language. And
Now I want to
and
read
others.
it. I never read it. I just know.
Dude,
about
you
it.
got to read it.
All right.
I mean, I don't know if you're in a relationship now or in the future, but I promise you, if you read that book, you'll be the man.
Okay.
You will be the man.
All right. My life is set then. Thanks, man.
Yeah, dude.
All right. So, so your mom got a job at as
Yeah,
as an
she
administrator, and then
And
your stepfather.
So
what?
my stepdad came in when I was in the 2nd grade.
Okay.
I remember going to Puerto Rico for Christmas vacation, just me and my uncle. When I came back, she's at the airport with him, picking me up at LaGuardia. I'm like,
First time meeting him?
First time meeting him. I'm like, who the heck is this guy?
Yeah.
You know, when at a young age, like when my mom and my dad split, like I became the man of the house, so to speak.
Right.
Like as in 1st grade, 2nd grade, I really felt like I was the man.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw this man, my dad Jose, I gave him that look like, yo, who are you?
Yeah.
If in 2nd grade, you know, like I'm sizing him up, like, who are you? And
Yeah, you got to protect.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Well, little did I know, you know, and unfortunately, it took so many years in between then and where we're at now. I'll come full circle with this, that like we didn't bump heads because my dad is like the super most calm, patient, loving man that I've ever met.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize until in my teens that, man, this dude changed my life. You know, he gave me an example of what a man is.
Oh, gotcha.
A father, a provider, a husband. And it wasn't until my freshman year in college when I started to reflect back on everything he did. He took us out of the Bronx. In middle school, we moved out of the Bronx and moved upstate to Newburgh, New York.
Yeah.
Newburgh's about an hour up north of the city.
Right.
And we went from a 2-bedroom apartment in the Bronx to a single-family home in the suburbs with an in-ground pool and a diving board.
Damn.
Yeah, so it was like one extreme to another.
Yeah.
And I remember, you know, being in the back of the house in the pool or just enjoying life one summer. Like, I don't want to go back to that type of living.
Right.
I want this.
Yeah.
So he exposed me to wanting more in life. So when I got to college, I started thinking about like, man, this guy married my mother. She had really nothing to offer at the time.
Yeah.
She had 3 kids. He was a single man, pretty much right out of, you know, school. Had a really good job.
Yeah.
Had everything, good-looking guy. Had everything going for him. But he chose to love my mother and love us as his own. And
Were you always like butting heads with them, like growing up?
so yeah, because you know I was defiant.
Right.
You know, he had rules and we never fought.
Right.
Never, you know. Well, I mean that's a bad term, but
Just argued.
yeah.
Yeah.
But he's not argumentative. He doesn't you know fight back. But he has his ways to get his point across.
Okay.
But there was one time where I tested him. I might have been 15, 16 years old and being defiant towards my mom. I said something real disrespectful. And
Yeah.
I don't know what I did. But I remember going to the kitchen and he came up from behind me and he grabbed me by my shirt and lifted me up. He said, "You want to go outside? You want to go?" Like I'd never seen him that upset and I'm off the ground.
Yeah.
And I said, "No, sir." Like he put the fear in me.
Yeah.
And I think after that, I don't think we ever had an issue.
Yeah. No, there it is.
But
it just takes that one time.
yes, sir, man. Yes, sir.
That's awesome, man. So you're an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Have you always been an entrepreneur, or
Yeah.
is that something that?
No, dude. Like, okay, when I started my company, which is 10 years ago, 2009. So we just finished season 9, going into season 10 in the spring.
Very cool.
But just reflecting back on my life, like, okay, where did I get this entrepreneur spirit?
Yeah.
But it's always been there. I mean, at 5 years old, or maybe not that young, but at 7 years old, as a kid,
Yeah.
in the Bronx, you know, helping people with their groceries up, you know, to to their apartment from the car or from downstairs. Helping my dad clean his car. I did everything I try to make $1 somehow.
Oh, gotcha.
And even when we moved upstate to Newburgh, at 13, I acquired a paper route.
Oh, nice.
So every morning for 2.5 years, I delivered newspapers. So I delivered the papers. I collected money each week.
Yeah.
So I was making my own money at 13 years old.
Nice.
At 13 years old, I bought my own drum set.
Nice.
At 13 years old, I paid for a flight to Puerto Rico to visit family. At 14, I went to Florida to visit my boy. All this I did myself.
Wow.
At 13 years old, I bought my first pair of Jordans. I spent $165 on the Jordans. I wanted them so bad. Whew. And then like the next day, I'm looking at them like, why did I do that? That was dumb.
Yeah.
That was the last time I spent that much money on some sneakers.
Interesting.
So yeah, like early on.
You had that self-awareness.
Exactly. And then I guess I was sort of cheap with my money.
Yeah.
I not cheap, but I just knew how to spend it.
Right.
And
you think it comes from like growing up in the Bronx with a single mom, like she's an immigrant coming here from nothing, kind of thing?
I don't know. I think I just understood the value of money.
Yeah, not a lot of people get that, especially at an early age.
Yeah. I think I understood the value of money, and knew that it can come and go quickly. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want it. I could see I can blow it quickly. Yeah. So I just managed it pretty well.
Yeah, I think as soon as you start to earn money by yourself, then you start to see the value of it.
Definitely.
So, like, obviously, you started doing that at a very early age.
Very early age. When I go visit my granddad, he'll dig in his wallet, shaking his hands and pull out a couple of dollars to give to me and my brother. Yeah. And let's say he gave us $5. I would go to the candy store, spend maybe $2 on candy. Yeah. But I wouldn't buy like a big piece of candy that would cost 50 cents. Right. At the time, you can get like Swedish Fish for like a penny. So I get a bunch of Swedish Fish, a bunch of Now Laters, or
so you got
Super
just
Bowl.
like a
so
bunch.
like 5. So I have a whole bag full of candy. Mm-hmm. Whereas my brother, he'll spend all his money on
like one
thing or two things.
Yeah.
He'll finish it right away, but I hid my my candy under the bed.
Nice.
And I'll have like a couple of pieces each day to make it spread out, but I'll still have $3 left over. Nice. And that was that was at an early age.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
Very cool. Yeah. So so then you grew up there pretty much through high school?
Yeah, Newburgh. I grew up in Newburgh, New York, from middle school, 8th grade, all the way on till high school.
Okay. And then like, did you go to college? Or
so
anything?
Check this out. Yeah, no. So right after high school. Mm-hmm. I was a good student. Yeah. I was a student athlete. I was a good student, but I never really applied myself. I got bys with B's and C's without studying at all.
That's pretty good.
No, yeah. I'll sit in class. I'm a visual learner. I never took notes. Yeah. Even in college, I just can't take notes. I can't read and retain that way. I have to visually see it and process it. Well, I had no real ambition to go to college. Just knew that you're supposed to go to college after high school. And my high school sweetheart at the time, she was going to go to North Carolina Central, which is here in Carolina. Yeah. Well, okay, you're going to Central? I want to go to Central. She said, no, you can't go to North Carolina Central, but here's another school nearby, and we can be somewhere near each other. And that was Shaw University. Ah. Shaw is here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Yeah. Well, we broke up that summer, and she ended up not going to
After
Central.
You guys moved here?
No.
Before.
This is still in New York.
Okay, all right.
We broke up that summer. She didn't go to Central. This is summer of '96. Okay. She didn't go to Central. I didn't go to Shaw University. I was accepted at Shaw University in '96. Gotcha. I didn't go to Shaw University until 1998, which was 2 years later. Huh. I'll come back to that. All right. So in '96, summer of '96, school starts back up, and all my friends are either back in high school or in college or in the service. Yeah. And I'm at home watching Jerry Springer, Ricky Lake, whatever other shows came on, just being bored out of my mind. So I go in the newspaper, because at the time, that's when you look for jobs in the classified. Yeah. And I see a post that says, make $300 to $500 a week. Call this number. Okay, let me call this number, $300 to $500 a week. I call the number. I show up the next day. I still don't know why I'm there. I'm filling out the application, and I look over to my left, and I see a bunch of vacuums and shampoos. The company was Electrolux, and it was door-to-door vacuum sales. Whew. Now, I'm 18 years old.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at these vacuums, and while I'm filling out the application, I'm saying to myself, "Oh, heck no. I'm not doing this."
Yeah.
But I couldn't walk out. I was already in there.
Yeah.
So I had an interview with the guy, young guy, Jewish guy from Harlem. And he said, "Lou, okay, why don't you come out with me on a call, see what we do. And if you like it, you got a job."
Yeah.
I had nothing else to do. All right, let's go. Now, we did 2 demonstrations that day. He didn't sell the vacuum or shampooer to the customer, but he sold me on the product.
Oh, yeah?
He sold, like, I'm looking at it like, man, this thing works.
Yeah.
You know, he did half the room. One half was done. The other half was undone. And so it was night and day. So he says, "Lou, you think you can do this?" I said, "Heck yeah, I can do this." I said, you know, I'm young, 18, and he's young, so I felt comfortable talking to him.
Yeah.
I said, "Yeah, it's like talking to a girl, man, trying to get her to give you her number." You know, that's how I was processing sales. Like, you know, trying to convince you to buy this. So I said, "All right, I'll give it a shot." So I went home, and I told my mom, "Hey, mommy, I got a job." Remember I said she's my biggest cheerleader?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the first time in my life she doubted me and told me that I'm going to waste my time. It was a BS job, and I'm going to fail at it based on other people who have tried sales jobs or network
based
marketing.
on her experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not that she didn't believe in me, but she just thought that it was a waste of my time.
Right.
But I use that just like anything else in life. I use a negative as my motivation. I want to prove somebody wrong.
Yeah.
If I feel like I can do it, I'm gonna show you I can do it, and I can do it well.
Yeah.
So that was my motivation. And that month they had a big contest. If you sold 50 vacuums, you get to choose 4 prizes, and there was a bunch of prizes to choose from. Now this is '96, so it was a 36-inch TV, a hi-fi stereo system that hold 100 CDs. A DVD player, and a Howard Miller grandfather clock. Okay, so those are the 4 prizes I picked. The clock wasn't for me; the other 3 for me. But the clock was from my mom.
Okay.
Now that month, every day I was knocking on doors. Now these vacuums cost $1,000 or better. Yeah, these are high-end vacuums.
Like literally $1,000?
Yeah.
Damn.
And this is in '96. It's not like it's $1,000. I mean, $1,000 today is still a lot of money.
For
but $1,000 in '96. And I'm knocking on your door trying to convince you that you need to buy a vacuum when you think your vacuum works.
Yeah.
You know, that's pretty, gutsy and ballsy, but I'm not thinking that.
Right.
I'm thinking about trying to make some money. And I got up to 35% in commission. So if I sold a $1,000 vacuum, I'm going to make $350.
Nice.
So,
that's pretty good.
Dude, yeah. So I will do a whole presentation and no prior sales experience.
Yeah.
Just
winging it.
Just winging it, man.
Yeah.
Like, and it goes back to my hustler
mentality
as a kid. When I was 13 years old, 14 years old, when it snowed and they closed school, I was shoveling driveways.
Yeah.
You know, knocking on doors. Hey, can I shovel your driveway? I'll make $20 here, $10 there. In the summer, cutting grass. Yeah. Neighbors' grass.
It also has to do with that confidence level as well, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I just saw that, there's a need. I have a service I can provide, and I can make money from it. So I take that with the vacuums and the sales. So my contest close was, hey, you see I'm working really hard out here, and I know you want this vacuum. Look at your floor. Night and day, I made it look brand new. I'll help you get this vacuum if you help me get this clock. That was my close at the end. If you help me get this clock, I'm trying to win this clock from my mom, which was the truth.
Yeah, right. That's funny that it's a clock.
But my first month, I was ranked #1 in the state of New York.
Damn.
As a beginner salesman, I sold. So at the end of the month, I didn't hit 50. My goal was to hit 50 so I can get all 4. But if you sold 35, you get to choose 1.
Gotcha.
So on the very last day of the month, my last showing, I guess, I went all out. Because if I didn't get the sale, actually I had to sell 2. at that show.
Right.
At that presentation. If I didn't sell these 2, I'm not gonna get the clock.
Yeah.
And I put on a show, and they ended up buying both of them.
Nice.
And I sold 36 vacuums that month.
Damn.
36 vacuums right off the bat, and I probably made over $10,000. By week 2 in November, it was all gone. I mean, I was 18. That was a lot of money that came my way. Right. And I just like, man, where did it go?
Yeah.
But
you started buying stuff and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know where it went, but I never sold 36 ever again after that.
Yeah.
That was pure adrenaline. And but
you had a drive. You had
a
why.
drive, and I discovered a skill that I didn't know I had, which was in sales and business. And
did you realize that after you went through it?
Yes. So after that first month, I'm like, man, I'm pretty good at this. And I wrote it for about a year.
Yeah.
And by going into the second year, I said, okay, well, if I can sell vacuums, I can sell anything, but I need a degree.
Right.
And I was in New York, and I mean, I love my city and my state, but I had to get out. Something internally was my spirit. The Holy Spirit was just saying, Lou, you got to go.
Yeah.
You got to go to North Carolina. Specifically North Carolina.
Why is that?
Nowhere else. I was already accepted at Shaw University.
Oh, okay.
And in my head, I was like, okay, well, I want to leave New York. I don't know where to go. Oh, wait, that school in North Carolina accepted me.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to go to North Carolina. Never visited the school. Had no family here, no friends, nobody. Never been to the state.
Yeah.
But, I'm a Christian. So the Holy Spirit just kept saying, Lou, you got to go. You got to go. And nobody can talk me out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like.
That's what happened to me. Exactly what happened to me. Yeah. Because I was here in
Where
North
Where
Carolina.
are you
from? My family's from Venezuela.
Okay.
But I grew up here in North Carolina.
Okay.
And so what happened was I was working at Blockbuster as a manager.
Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Do the kids know what Blockbuster is?
No, they don't. It's a video rental store. But I got so sick of it that I was just like, one day I was like, man, I got to go to college. And then that day, I decided what college.
Okay.
It was in Orlando, Florida.
Okay.
I decided what college to go to. I applied for all the student loans and all the paperwork myself, and I moved down there, and I found an apartment, and I found a roommate, everything by myself within 1 month.
Bro.
And I knew no one down there, you know what I mean? Man. It was just me going.
There you go, man. When you act on the Spirit, man, the laws of attraction just comes to you.
Yeah.
It just happens.
It does.
Ain't that amazing?
It's amazing, man. And I wouldn't take it back. Even though I had some hardship down there, going through homelessness down in Orlando and all that stuff. But, hey, I learned from it.
Oh, man, we got a lot in common then because the story's just heating up, bro.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, bro.
Get it.
Man, I got a story. So anyway, so nobody could talk me out of coming down here.
Right.
So I just showed up on campus in August '98. And I didn't know Shaw University was an HBCU. Do you know what HBCU is?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna hip you up. I'm gonna hip you to what an HBCU is. HBCU is a historically black college university.
Oh yeah. I knew that. I just didn't know the terms.
Okay, there is the term. I didn't know that either until after.
Sorry, Matt.
So I showed up to Shaw University. And from day one, man, doors just flew wide open.
Yeah.
It through administration, who.
Were you terrified?
Not at all.
No,
I'm never. I
was like, I'm from the Bronx.
Well, yeah, I mean that too. I had that little chip on my shoulder, but you could put me in any environment and I will adapt.
Cool.
Whether it be in the hood, whether it be at a country club golf course,
right?
Whether if I'm doing a sales presentation in front of C-level officers, or if I'm sitting down having a meal with a homeless man.
Yeah.
Wherever I'm at, I'll adapt. So no,
nice.
I had no issues. I love the challenge.
Yeah.
I'm an athlete, so like anything that's competitive or not comfortable, and I have to attack and win.
Yeah.
I love that.
I secretly say in my head, challenge accepted.
There you go. There you go. So I ended up at Shaw University. I studied business management. That was my degree. What I remember from Shaw in my business class, I really, I'm not gonna lie to you, I can't remember much from college, what I learned in school, in the classroom.
Yeah.
But my peers, administration, just the support and the network, and I had to learn how to survive.
Right.
I'm in a whole nother state by myself, and my experience at Shaw was amazing.
Yeah.
It
what made it amazing?
Just my lifelong friends that I've met there.
Cool.
I pledged the fraternity, Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity. Chapters Delta Gamma.
Nice.
I crossed in fall of '99.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother extended family, and I'm very active with my fraternity. I love them.
Yeah.
I love my brothers. And I come from a big family.
Right.
So when I moved to North Carolina, I was looking for Kappa. My cousin told me about Kappa Alpha Psi, so I came purposely looking on campus for Kappa Alpha Psi.
Gotcha.
And I wanted to be a part of an organization that will embrace me and uplift me like my family in New York would. Because I was here, I had nobody.
I never thought about doing that.
Oh, man, Greek life is amazing. I mean, you see that we party and, we have fun.
Yeah.
But it's a true brotherhood if you use it.
Right.
Just like in any family. Like, you probably have cousins that you can care less about, but you're related because that's your cousin.
Right.
But then you have other relatives that you really rock hard with. Same thing with a fraternity. You got brothers who are really good brothers, and you got brothers that are, oh, well, we're part of the same organization. I'll show you respect.
Of course.
It's a different type of bond. But, but I'm a brother's brother. Like, I really, really enjoyed
that's cool, man.
my experience. But so I graduated from Shaw University in 2002.
Yeah, that's a 4-year college, right?
4-year college, and I did it in 4 years for the record. I didn't do 4.5, 5 years. No, my plan was to go in at 4 and come back out.
Nice.
Graduated with a 3.0.
Did you go to college? You took some time off after high school, right?
Yes.
How long of a?
It was a
break?
2-year. It was a 2-year gap.
Same here.
2-year gap.
Nice.
And I'll tell you when I remember I said I knew I had to get out of New York. Well, there was a time that I remember vividly that that was the turning point.
Right.
And I was I had a second job at the airport, and I was loading cargo plane. And I'm in the belly of the plane loading, the packages. Yeah. And it was like a third shift type of job. It was like nighttime. Okay. And I remember I'm in the belly, halfway bent over, using my body to load these packages. And I remember looking up, and I saw like my crew that was with me. I was the youngest. These were men. Yeah. Men in their 30s, 40s. And they worked 3-4 jobs. Right. They had families. We got paid the same hourly rate. Now, I don't knock a man who hustles hard and provides for his family and do what he has to do. I'm all for that. But at age 19, 20, I remember just pausing while I was putting up the box, looking at these men like, I got to do something. Yeah. I don't want to be like them.
Yeah. I love moments like that, man.
Yeah, I remember that like it was yesterday. Like, it was cold. It was, I'm freezing. I'm layered up, and I'm putting these boxes in. And I said, I don't want to do this.
Yeah. I'm gonna be their age doing the same thing.
And that's what made me, want to jump on and go to college.
Very cool.
But
but yeah, you graduated college.
Graduated college, and I was working with Pepsi. So somewhat like an internship. Okay. And I did that.
Like right after college, or
I was doing it in college.
In college, okay, gotcha.
So I actually had.
So that means like you weren't really stressful about like what you're gonna do after college and all that stuff.
No, I knew what I was gonna do. My freshman year, I had an internship with IBM. Yeah. Through the Inroads program, which is amazing. IBM, SAS Institute, and then I was with Pepsi. So all 4 years, I had a business corporate job, gaining experience. Yeah. So I'm in school with a business degree, getting a business degree. I'm getting all this corporate experience. In my head, I'm like, I'm going to be the #1 draft pick for any company coming out of college. Right, yeah. But that was during the beginning of the recession. Where
like 2008?
Well, no.
Or the 2001?
No. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where 9/11 happened?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I graduated in 2002, and here I am competing with entry-level jobs with seasoned veterans, people who have 15, 20 years experience. Yeah. So what I thought, I was going to be the #1 pick. Well, no, I'm competing against these entry-level jobs with these seasoned veterans. Right. So 2 years after college, I was still with Pepsi running routes. Yeah. And I finally had a breakthrough with Inside Sales software company. And I did that. I did software sales.
Was that for SaaS?
No. Okay. That was a company called Global Knowledge.
Okay, yeah, I know Global.
Global Knowledge. They did IT training certification. So I was selling training packages.
Gotcha.
From there, I went to a company called Good Technology, which opened up an office here, and they did mass hiring for inside sales reps. Gotcha. They were based out of Santa Clara, California. And I think I was 25, 26 at the time. Yeah. And I landed a job with them. Like I said, it was a mass hiring. So I'm competing against adults and seasoned veterans. But the guy that I interviewed with, I told him the Electrolux story. And
nice.
And about the clock.
Yeah.
And he loved it, man.
Nice.
He loved it. And his name is Jamie Northington.
Yeah.
And good brother. And he says, I'm going to give you a shot. And he gave me a shot. I did that for about 2 years, a year and a half. And I'm glad this comes around because, man, I'm getting to tell my whole story. This is pretty awesome how everything is flowing. Yeah. And it's unscripted.
But I gotta say one thing before you finish. Getting those different types of jobs.
Yes.
Were you always feeling like you were leveling up on each one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
I was definitely. Which all goes back to God's plan. We'll go back there in a second. Yeah. So, where were we? Good Technology, software sales. So about a year and a half, 2 years into that, I was making good money. I had a base pay, commission. I started to notice like corporate not bully, but favoritism. Yeah. And I would see the cliques hanging out, and you do a real good job, but somebody else gets recognition, and just like that. One day we get called in and 90% of the sales force was eliminated. Oof.
Damn.
I mean, like, yeah.
That's a lot.
It's like everybody.
Yeah.
And like I was one of the young guys there.
Yeah.
So they gave us like a really nice package for like 3 months pay. In my head, like, great. This is great. And but I can see, the older men who had families, and I could see the fear in their eyes, and then it struck a chord with me, like, this is not cool,
right?
Just like that.
Cool to them or you?
In general, just the corporate life.
Yeah, right.
Like just like that, they can just do away with you.
Yeah,
and
it can be taken away,
and you just have to roll with it, and just before that though, that same summer. I'm in as I'm watching all of this unfold, I remember sitting in my office and looking outside. It was a pretty day, summer day. Yeah. And I'm looking out there and I'm saying to myself, I don't want to be in here. This is the life that I thought I want. Corporate job, move up the ladder, make good money. But I had no fulfillment. I had no peace. Yeah. So I'm looking outside like, I don't want to be in here. So I went home that night and I prayed. I said, Lord, I want to run my own business. What do I do? And I woke up the next morning. I sat out the bed. And the first thing that came out my mouth was Icees.
Yeah.
I just said Icees.
That'd be funny if there was like an icy cup right in front of you.
That would be funny. But it was, summertime. But when I said Icees, that's the Holy Spirit speaking through me, and I heard it.
There was nothing that would nothing in the past.
Nothing. There's nothing. I prayed. I said, I want to run my own business. What do I do? I woke up the next morning, got out the bed, Icees. That's all I said. But I heard myself, and I thought, oh, snap. Let me bring the Italian ice, the coquito from New York, down south. That's a genius idea. Yeah. Nobody was doing at the time, Italian ice pushcart vending. In New York, whether you're white, black, Spanish, old, young, everybody loves Italian ice. Right. So there's everybody was the market. Yeah. So I knew it was a genius idea. But I didn't act on it. I got the idea in 2007. Right. 2 years passed by, and I talked a good game, what I'm about to do. Yeah. And I never made any moves forward. Right. And God spoke to me. He says, Lou, if you don't do what I told you to do, I'm going to give your blessing to somebody else.
How many times did you hear that?
Just one time.
Oh, really?
And it was clear as day, the way I just said it. And it's almost like, your dad scolding you. Yeah. And put the fear. Like, if you don't take out that trash, this is going to happen. Okay, you do it. But when God said, if you don't do what I told you to do, I'm going to give your blessing to somebody else. It struck a chord within me. said, okay, Lord, I hear you. I'm going to give it a shot. If I fail, I fail. But I'm going to give it a shot next summer.
Yeah.
So, this is a good transition, man. So, so that winter.
Now, what were you doing in those 2 years, though?
So in those 2 years, I ended up working for a company called Mercom, Octagon Entertainment, and they made and also sold video games.
Okay.
That's the simple way to put it. Right. But so my role was somewhat like a video game agent.
Gotcha.
I would, contact developers, and ask for a demo, see what they got working. Yeah. And try to shop their game to Sony, to Microsoft.
I gotta say this. So when you knew you had that idea of making Icees, right?
Yes, sir.
But you never acted on it. Within those 2 years, you had another job, and were you pleased about getting that other job, or did it start to like decrease, like the level of
no? I mean,
energy you want to put into it?
I mean, it was. I guess I was coasting for those 2 years. Okay. So I didn't really go up nor go down, and it was just.
It seems like the ambition maybe like.
Drifted
off.
It drifted off because just like most people, you get comfortable with that corporate life. Yeah. You get comfortable with the benefits and the weekly paychecks. Right. And to venture out is scary, especially at the time I was married and I had 2 boys.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah. So starting my business was there, but yeah, I just couldn't see how I can do it.
Gotcha. So did you have the support with your family?
So yes. So in 2009, I ended up going up to the Bronx, and my dad set up a meeting with the guy who actually started Coquito.
Nice.
I believe his name is Armando, and he owns Delicioso Coco Helado, which is Italian. Well, they're the Spanish version of the Italian ice. Right. And I remember going to his factory, and I couldn't believe I had this meeting with the president and owner of this company. Yeah. And Armando, I don't know, was 50s, 60s. Yeah. And he sat me down in his office and he showed me around the company, and I'm pretty much off the street. Like, yeah, I'm not an executive, whatever, but he just nice man. And he told me his story, how he started. Nice. And he would get the coconut from 125th Street from the market and make his own, coquito at the house. And here I am, like, this man is just, having conversation with me. And does he realize he owns a multi-million-dollar company? Like, that's what I'm thinking.
Gotcha.
We good on time?
No, we're good.
Oh, okay. But then I met his daughter, Sophia, who's, the operations brain. And, I mean, she has it on point. And I'm looking at his whole factory like, wow, this is amazing. Well, he says, Lou, I would like to supply you with the ice. Huh. But we don't ship. You have to drive up to New York, pick it up, and drive it back. Huh. He says people do that from all over. They do it from Atlanta. They do it. Where in North Carolina do you live? I told him. He said, oh, yeah, there's a guy in Durham that comes up and gets ice. Maybe you guys can alternate routes. So I reached out to that guy. Yeah. I won't say his name, but he was doing it in Durham. Excuse me. You're good. And I said, hey, dude, this is, my name is Lou. I want to get into business. I won't come to Durham. I'll stay in Raleigh, but we can help each other out. I'm a team player. Yeah. And he said, nah, man, this is my thing. And, I got it under control, but no, thank you. So he turned his back on me. Yeah. I use that as motivation. Right. So I'm going to get him. So mentally, I prepared myself like, okay, I'm working during the week with the, Octagon Mercom. But at some point, I'm going to drive up to New York, get my stuff, drive back, and work it somehow on the weekends. Yeah. Because mentally, I said, I'm going to do it. Right. This guy told me.
How long of a drive is that?
That would have been 9 hours.
9 hours?
Yeah, in the van.
And then 9 hours back?
9 hours there, 9 hours back.
Gotcha.
So, mentally, I was focused on that. I'm going to do it. If I fail, I fail, man. I'm going to give it a shot. So that winter, and I didn't really have, like, extra money laying around. Like, I took care of my family, my boys. Yeah. So the extra play money wasn't really there.
Gotcha.
Well, one of my fraternity brothers, he owns a company called A-List Entertainment.
Right.
And they do, at the time, and still now, they do like the big parties at CIAA, which is a basketball tournament in Charlotte.
Okay.
Well, I came up and made a little investment in that party and sold tickets. And I think I made $2,000-$3,000 one night.
Nice.
And I'm thinking, you know, when I got the money, this is not even thinking about the business. Like, man, I could pay bills with this. I could do that.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, this can go into the business.
Right.
So I have some play money.
Mm-hmm.
And I reached out to my boy who's a carpenter. I showed him a picture of what a cart looks like. I said, yo, you think you can make this? He said, yeah. How much you going to charge me? He said, just buy the material. I want to bless you. Really?
Nice.
Word,
That's
let's
awesome.
do that. So we did that. We made a bunch of like wooden carts.
Yeah.
So now I got the carts. Now I'm pricing out freezers.
How many carts?
At the time, we made 4 of them.
Okay.
I think 4. Like instead of making, I was thinking big from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want 1.
Right.
So now make 4. Let's make 4.
Yeah. That's the commitment.
So I'm pricing out freezers, and the freezers at Lowe's, you know, they're running anywhere $600 to $800.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if I get 3 of them, that's all my money. Now I look on Craigslist, I find 3 of them, $50 each.
What?
Yes. So now I get the 3 freezers. Okay, I got the carts, I got the freezers. Now I need a van.
Yeah.
I go back on Craigslist, and there's a van posted for sale, immediate sales for $1,000. The guy needed quick cash.
Right.
The van was a death trap. The passenger door didn't open. The horn didn't work. Windshield wipers didn't work. You press the brake, the car goes that way. Everybody has to come in through the driver's side. But it had a strong engine and a brand new transmission.
That's important.
So I gave
That's the most expensive part, right?
Exactly. So like cosmetically, like it was a piece of crap.
Yeah.
But it was strong. So $1,000. So whatever I made at that party was just the amount that I needed to get my business going.
That's ridiculous.
Right?
That's awesome, man. That's very cool.
That's what I'm talking about. When you act on when God tells you to do something, when you just act on faith, everything just falls into place.
Exactly.
You got to believe it.
Yeah.
That's the book, The Secret. I don't know if you read The Secret.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm rereading it again now, but I read that 8 years ago. But it's all about the laws of attraction and positive thinking.
It's what changed my life.
Awesome. Awesome. Man, we got a lot in common, bro. You're going to buy me a drink later.
All right.
But
I'm going to buy you a drink.
all right, I'll buy you a drink then.
You're going to give me some Icees.
Okay. Sweet. Sweet. So here I got the van. I got the carts. I got the freezers.
Yeah.
Everything to operate the business. And mentally, I'm prepared to drive up to New York and get the product.
Right.
Okay, well, at the company I was working at the time, I was talking out loud, like, yeah, man, this summer I'm about to sell Icees. I got my van, I got this, I got that. And the lady, she overhears me talking. She says, oh, yeah, there's a guy in Durham who does that. I said, yeah, I reached out to him, and he turned his back on me. She's like, no, he's a nice guy. I said, what's his name? And she said a different name. His name is Hank, and people know him as Shelby. Hank's from Philadelphia. And so I said, well, give me his number. I want to meet him. So I called him up. I met him, the next day. And I said, sir, this is what I'm trying to do. And I got to drive up to New York. He says, well, I make my own ice. I'm from Philly. We make something called water ice.
Yeah.
I never had water ice at the time. So I said, does it taste like New York, Icee? He says, oh, it's very similar, but it's good. But this is in the winter. He didn't have anything,
Gotcha.
Made, any product made.
Right.
So in New York, they were going to charge me $25 a bucket per bucket, and I still have to drive up, pay tolls, drive back.
Okay.
So I asked him, I said, well, how much are you going to charge me? He says, I'll charge you $15 a bucket.
Nice.
$15 a bucket.
Yeah.
And for every 10, you get one for free.
Oh, shit.
So, dude, it's like, I couldn't believe my ears.
Yeah.
Like, here I am prepared to drive to New York, and this is a guy who's 15, 20 minutes from where I lived.
Yeah.
And it's
Offering
cheaper.
the same thing, yeah. Yeah.
But I never tasted his product. So in the spring, he calls me up. He says, Louis, I got some mango ready. Come on through and taste it. So I went with my sons, and I'm nervous, dude, because here I am ready to rock and roll.
Yeah.
And I never tasted his product. So he gives me the cup, and I give it to my son, Carmelo. And I said, Coco, taste this. So he didn't want to taste it, so I took the spoon, I put it in his mouth. And when I put it in his mouth, he went, you know, like a good sign.
Yeah.
So let me taste that. Dude, I tasted his mango, and it was unreal.
Delicious. Nice.
I've never, I mean, it was better than what I anticipated.
Yeah. That's
So,
cool,
so yeah, dude. So he was my supplier for a couple of years. And after my first year, the boy's mom and I went through a separation.
Gotcha. Well, hold on, before we get to there.
Yeah.
That first year.
Yes, sir.
How was that for you? Like the first time you got out there.
So awesome.
sold some Icees.
That's great, bro. That's great that you bring that up.
Yeah.
So I think it might have been the end of March. We had a nice warm day.
Yeah.
And there was a flea market on Rock Quarry Road in Raleigh.
Yeah.
Which now is school buses are there. It's like a parking lot. But every weekend you could pay like $25 a day and sell whatever you had to sell.
Oh, nice.
At the time, you could buy fake Jordans, you know, bootleg DVDs. But I was out there every weekend sampling my product because nobody really knew what Italian ice was. They knew what snow cones are in the South.
Right.
So every weekend I was out there, here, taste this, sampling. And I would make, you know, on a weekend, $700 to $1,000 on 2 days.
Were you surprised the first time you did that?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, I couldn't believe, like, man, I'm making, you know, $400 here, $300 there.
Yeah.
And I'm having fun doing it.
Right.
And right after that, about a month later, there was a church, I think it's Raleigh Baptist, or I think it's Raleigh Baptist Church. I think that was the name of it. But they host, like, the biggest Easter egg hunt in Raleigh. And the pastor there said, yeah, you could bring, you know, I reached out to them. They said, yeah, bring your ice to our egg hunt.
Yeah.
And I think in 2 hours, 3 hours, I had 2 other guys working with me.
Yeah.
We made like $2,500. Right?
Nice.
And then that afternoon, there was a motorcycle club that had an event downtown that they told me I can bring the ice there. And I made like another $3,000.
Nice.
So
That's cool.
A month into it, on a weekend, I did $5,000 in a day.
Phew. Man.
And that's when I knew, like, wait a second. At first, I was happy with just making a couple of $100. Then I made, you know, about $5,000. I said, wait a second, I'm onto something.
Is that with the 4 carts?
That was, yeah. I did that with like 2-3 carts.
Okay.
Because at the time I was selling cups for $2, $3.
Yeah.
Now I do 5 and 10.
Gotcha.
Okay. So, but it's a bigger cup. It's prettier presentation. And
Yeah.
But anyway, so anyway, that's when I knew, okay, I'm onto something here.
Yeah.
And I started searching for other venues to vend at. This is all in the first year.
Right.
So whatever
festivals.
event I can get into, I was there. That van took me all over North Carolina.
Yeah.
I've been to every small city, every small town, trying to, you know, just growing the business.
Yeah.
So while I was going through my separation and divorce, dude, that first year was tough.
I bet.
Like,
Because like your mind was kind of split, right?
Yes, it's like, okay, the business is making money. And then I left, you know, the corporate job because I really wasn't making that much money anymore there. So I was doing that plus, you know, side jobs. And I'm trying to, you know, maintain my household.
Yeah.
So that my ex-wife, who I love to death, she and I are great friends. And we parent well together.
Right.
And our boys are freaking amazing. But she actually was my inspiration to run my own business. She's an entrepreneur herself.
Oh, nice.
And I remember just seeing her just wake up first thing in the morning on her computer, and she'll be the last one to go to bed.
Yeah.
You know, just grinding. So she sparked me to run my own thing.
Yeah.
That was a little sidebar.
That's cool.
Visit her poshlife.net.
Poshlife.net.
Poshlife.net or poshlifebling.com.
That's cool, man, that you had that inspiration to
Yeah.
kind of kick you in.
Yeah,
I like
man.
that about like relationships
Yeah.
as far as like I see that other person striving and driving
Yeah.
and have a lot of passion. I'm like, oh, I got to do more. I got to do more too.
Yeah.
It's like that kind of like friendly competition going on.
Yeah, exactly. And the divorce, though, like, again, that was my motivation. I wanted to prove her that I can
You
I
still
can do
it.
this.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, she never doubted me.
Right.
But in my mind, I wanted to be like super successful.
Right.
And that was my motivation.
Cool.
And everything. You know, I started getting the gym, started working out harder.
Yeah.
And just being a better man overall.
Yeah.
But so that first year, dude, like I was bouncing around from couch to couch. I was homeless. I had money coming in, but I'm living with, you know, frat brothers. So I had nowhere to live. The money I was making was going to support my family.
Yeah.
And the extra was going back towards the business.
Right.
So there was no extra for rent, utilities. And like I said, I was in somebody's couch. And for like 2-3 months, I was living with my frat brothers on a futon.
Yeah.
I had nowhere to live. I ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner at Shaw University because I couldn't feed myself.
How'd you get through that?
Through Shaw University, or how did I get through?
Through the not being homeless, like sleeping around other
Just
people's houses and stuff.
just put your head down and grind
Yeah.
and work hard is what I knew. Seeing my mom,
Yeah.
you know, as a kid, you know, there's no excuse for not surviving.
Right.
There's no excuse for accepting failure. So
It seems like you're the type of person that doesn't dwell on the losses or the failures, whatever it is for you. You know, you just don't sit and like, oh man.
No.
You just say, okay, what's the next solution?
Exactly. But at that time, that was difficult to do because there's plenty of nights, you know, I'm in the bed and, you know, crying and weeping. I miss my family and I'm just reflecting on all the wrong that I did as a husband. And I'm like, man, I could have done better.
Yeah.
So no, that time was difficult. Those 2-3 years was, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't wish that on Trump. You know, like it was bad. It was bad. Like, you know, just the feeling that I had inside.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, but I just put my head down. It's grinding. Every little money I made went back into the business.
Yeah.
I eventually phased out of the wooden carts and started buying the stainless steel carts. Had them wrapped real pretty, you know, presentation.
Yeah.
I started with one cart that I bought, and we own 10 of them now.
Nice.
So over the 10 years, I went from one cart to 10 carts, and from that van, we own 2 trailers and another van.
Nice.
So we're doing, on average, 3 festivals a weekend up and down the East Coast.
That's cool, man.
So it's not just a North Carolina base. We're based here in North Carolina.
Right.
But every single weekend, we're doing large festivals.
Yeah. Wasn't it like last week you went to Florida?
Last weekend, I was in Orlando doing the Florida Classic.
Yeah. I saw that on Facebook.
That was FAMU versus Bethune-Cookman. This last weekend, I sent the boys down to New Orleans, and they did a show down there. We're done now till March, but I work hard for 8-9 months out of the year.
Yeah.
Only on the weekends, and then I'm off.
Yeah.
From now till March.
Yeah, you got to plan really budget that out, right?
Yeah. You know, I
was that difficult to do to like budget that out?
It was like the first, like when I was going through the divorce, like I would make every year the business has made money, but by growing, you know, trying to grow the business and support my family, by December, January, all the money was gone. Like this is before I got married.
Yeah,
I'm remarried.
Yeah,
and my wife introduced me to Dave Ramsey. You familiar with Dave Ramsey?
That name sounds familiar.
He's a financial advisor, expert. He has a podcast also, Dave Ramsey.
All right, yeah.
But he has a book called The Total Money Makeover. But prior to that book, as I was reading that book, ESPN had a 30 for 30 special with all the NBA and NFL athletes who went broke after making millions of dollars. And that scared me.
Right.
Because they were in their prime. Allen Iverson was in his prime when he made millions of dollars. He blew it all. Now he can't play ball again and make millions of dollars.
Right.
So right now I'm somewhat in my prime with the Icee business, you know, by going up and down the East Coast driving. I can't do this when I'm 56 years old.
Right.
So that scared me into really focusing back on, okay, where's my money going? How do I manage it? And how do I make it grow so that when I do retire, I don't have to worry about scooping ice.
Right.
And so Dave Ramsey is definitely you need to download his app, man, and listen to his podcast. But I learned how to budget, and so about 4 or 5 years ago is when I was able to go through the winter and not worry about how I was going to live.
Gotcha.
But every year since then has been exponential growth. So now, okay, my season's over. All right, I'm going to enjoy my time. Everything's covered. And that's what I wanted to do when I first started the business. I wanted to work hard, make a lot of money.
Yeah.
But not work hard all the time. I want to enjoy my life.
Yeah.
So
I think you're at a point now that where you're doing that, right? Yeah.
I am, dude. You know, I don't brag or, you know, I work real hard.
Yeah.
But
Just got to put your head down and do it.
put your head down and do it. But you pay it forward. So through my company, I train young men to think and act like entrepreneurs. So I have a staff of about 15 young men that I can call on.
Yeah.
Majority of them are Shaw University students. I go back to my school and provide, you know, jobs for them, so to speak. But they're owners of the company because they get a percentage of what they sell.
Gotcha.
And it's not an hourly rate.
Yeah.
So, you know, they're sacrificing their time on a weekend to go to this event. I'm sacrificing my money. They're sacrificing their time.
Oh, interesting.
But I want you to hustle hard like this is your own business, and you'll get rewarded for it.
Yeah. So they're like freelancers?
Pretty much.
Okay. That's cool.
Pretty much. Instead of, you know, what they can make with me in a day or in a weekend is way more than they will make in Crabtree at Foot Locker.
What do you notice? Is there a difference that you notice from when they first come in?
Yes.
To when
So that's what keeps me going, is that over the years I've been blessed to have these young men just fall into my life, and some of them worked out, some of them didn't work out, but I still have a brotherly relationship with them. But my goal is to plant a seed in them like my stepfather did for me. One, show them what a man is, you know, what a hardworking man is, a provider. Yeah. But I have a lot of faults still and failures. So I want you to learn the good and bad from me.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of good to offer. So these are young men who are impressionable. You know, they can be molded. And I want them to start thinking and acting like entrepreneurs.
Nice. So
they come in with their raw skill and they're out there hustling. And I polish them a little, like, well, I think you should do it this way. And sometimes, you know, they'll get upset. You know, I can come off as a dictator, which I'm not.
Right.
But I'm old school. I'm like an old school coach.
Yeah.
You know, do it this way. But then I give them the opportunity to just run on their own.
Yeah. Let them breathe a little bit.
And then as I'm working the festival with them, you know, bringing them buckets, and I can hear them talking to customers or soliciting customers, like it brings a smile to my face. Like, man, that was pretty good what he just said. Like, and that's what I love. That's what I love. Just watching my young men grow into men. And now, like, some of the guys that used to work with me 5 years ago, watching them now in their professional careers, or as new, you know, fathers, a bunch of them, you know, are new dads now, and watching them how they, you know, father their child. Like, that's my passion, and that's my calling in Christ, is to mold young men to be men.
Yeah, and whatever they want to do.
Exactly.
That's very cool, man.
Exactly, man. So the company is my business, and I'm building it for my sons and my family, but these young men that come into my life, they're somewhat like a son, little brother to me.
Yeah. So you do that all the time? You go to like Shaw University and just get some...
So yeah, I mean, I don't actively solicit people. So I'll have somebody who's on my team and they know I need somebody to work, and they'll refer one of their boys.
Yeah.
Say, yeah, so I said, you know what we do? You think he can do it? Yeah. And that's what I go by. God just keeps putting these young men in my life for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And I've never had to like solicit for employers.
You never had to force anything or anything like that. They just fall into your lap.
Yeah, man.
That's very cool.
So they buy into my system, which is, you know, hustle hard. You know, I try to cover most expenses, you know, while they travel. These are young men in college, and some of them are not even in school. Like, I mean, I have kids who are not in school. They're still young men.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm teaching them how to earn.
Right.
But these are young men that I'm telling them, look, I'll send you to Florida. I'll send you to Orlando. I'll send you to Miami to spring break. I'll send you to New Orleans for Mardi Gras. I'll send you up to Hartford, Connecticut for the Hartford Jazz Festival. I'll send you to Cleveland, Ohio for the Puerto Rican Festival. You go there, you travel, you hustle hard, have fun, but hustle hard, and come back. So they're road tripping every week to somewhere fun.
Yeah.
And making money.
Yeah.
What I teach you through this business, you'll never learn in school.
Oh, no. Not at all.
So the
School
education, no.
Yeah, school doesn't teach you that.
No, so the education that I'm teaching them, you know, through business and entrepreneurship,
Yeah.
it
can't be taught.
It can't. And
Not
they're
in
making
school,
money.
not in school.
Yeah, and they're making money. So our motto is, we don't work at CocoCrissi, we make money and have fun.
Nice. Do you teach them how to like budget and everything too?
You know, I try to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if they're asking,
You know,
for it,
yeah. I
guess.
mean, no, I definitely share with them. Look into Dave Ramsey, and a lot of them actually, you know, on their own, buy the book or download the podcast, or read the 5 Love Languages, or Power of a Praying Husband, or Outliers. Like, I'll drop little, you know, seeds in them. I can't force them to do it.
Right.
Just like when, you know, somebody was trying to force me to do something, I didn't listen to it, but I just plant the seeds. Something eventually may come out of it.
Yeah.
So all I can do is just share with them my knowledge, and if they run with it, they run with it.
Yeah.
But for the most part, most of them do run with it.
Right. Yeah. Even if it's not right away, it might be like
Exactly.
2 years,
That-
5 years later, or something. Whatever.
I got a young brother of mine who has a daughter. She's, I don't know, 4 or 5 years old. He just graduated college last year, and he has a degree. He has a daughter, but he was doing, you know, subbing and coaching, and I shared with him a couple of months ago. It's like, dude, that's okay. You know, I respect that you're trying to hustle, but you can't. You're a provider now. You gotta. So if the job market is not there, then why don't you talk to a recruiter? Go look into the service, and you'll get, you know, some of your bills paid back, your student loans. You'll learn a trade. You'll have insurance for your daughter. And that week, he actually, something must have, you know, triggered something in his brain.
Yeah.
That week, he went ahead and talked to different recruiters, and in January, he's off to the Navy. So I'm sure that everything will work out for him.
Yeah.
But stuff like that, that's my passion with this company.
Yeah.
Is to, you know, just plant seeds, and whether it's through me or other men. I had a bunch of influences in my life, a bunch of coaches or teachers and guidance counselors who planted different seeds, and something developed out of it.
Yeah. That's cool, man. It's always like, it seems like you're the type of person that's always self-improving.
Yes.
Yeah, you're always growing, and not just in your career, but in your mindset as well. And there's very few people that actually do that. And I think it's working for you.
It is, man.
Absolutely, especially if you pay it forward.
Exactly.
And then they pay it forward.
And that's my charge to them. Guys, what I teach you, you know, what you learn, I want you to show that to your brother, show that to your cousin, mentor some kids. That's how we make change in America.
Yeah, absolutely.
In our community, is not just absorbing it. We live in especially the young generation. We're self-absorbed. What is it in it for me? How do I benefit from this?
Yeah, that's a short-term mindset.
That's short-term.
Yeah.
But as a Christian, you know, I call myself a spiritual gardener. So when you plant seeds of you know, whether it's through tithes or just blessing someone, or just saying hello, or teaching people, you know, just doing positive things.
Just a smile.
Those are positive seeds. Those are good seeds that are sowing.
Yeah.
And eventually they blossom into something that I know I'm gonna get blessed on the back end. I don't do it just for that, but I know the result of my good deed, what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So
even if you don't see it right away,
even if
nobody sees it right away,
exactly.
Exactly,
dude.
That's awesome, man. Why don't you tell everyone a little about where they could find your company?
Okay. CocoCrissi on Instagram. It's CocoCrissi. Twitter, same thing. And my website, CocoCrissi.com. CocoCrissi.com. We don't have a storefront. Eventually, that's going to be here in Carolina, and then eventually I want to franchise the business all over.
Cool.
But we do mobile vending, and we come to a city near you on the East Coast.
Oh, yeah. If you ever need a voiceover, let me know.
Okay. Oh, yeah, man. You got a lot of range there.
Thank you. All right, man. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Cool, man. I know I can ramble, man. It just...
Rambling's good.
Rambling's good.
Absolutely.
I'm the most southern New Yorker you'll ever meet. That's serious, bro. I tell people that all the time. Like, I'll talk to you in the street. I'll start a conversation. I'll look for the guy who looks like he doesn't want to talk to me.
Yeah.
and I'll make you have a conversation with me.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end of that conversation, you'll shake my hand and tell me to have a nice day.
Yeah.
This happens plenty of times. It's
That's
gotta
awesome.
be positive, man.
That's it. That's all. You
Positive.
spread the love.
And spread the love.